Artist. Today I am gone from class. We are going to talk about a new artist, well, new to some of you. We're going to talk about Tim Burton. Some of you have been learning about him in class, and some of you have not, depending on which grade you are in. Either way, I'm going to quickly go through his artwork again, and then after this, you will watch a video from another art teacher who is going to teach you how to draw in the style of Tim Burton. So my second graders, you guys were making haunted houses. This time we're going to work on self-portraits of yourself. Same for you, third grade. We'll be working on self-portraits kind of in his style, which will be different than the self-portraits that you've already done. Okay, so Tim Burton, he is 63 years old, and he is a living artist. So he's considered a contemporary artist, and he is from Burbank, California, which is right here on our map. Okay, there's California. We would be right about here. And not only is he a movie director, or not only is he an artist, but he's also a movie director, which I find really cool. So that means he helps create movies. And what I find interesting about him is that a lot of times movie directors, they're not also an artist. Whereas Tim Burton, he actually comes up with a lot of the drawings for his movies, such as what a character is going to look like, what the outfits might look like, what the backgrounds or the settings might look like. A lot of those drawings come from him. And he's been, or he's very famous for doing movies such as Beetlejuice, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Corpse Bride, Edward Scissorhands. So a lot of movies that you guys have probably seen before. Now, when we look at his artwork, it typically has a very gothic feel, which means a lot of times it's very dark. Things are oftentimes crooked or diagonal or at weird angles. And that makes things seem kind of like creepy feeling. A lot of times, too, things are weird proportions, and a proportion is how things should look. So third graders, you guys learned about proportion earlier this year when we did our self-portraits, learning about where things belong in our face. But oftentimes, Tim Burton will change these things. Like here we see Edward Scissorhands has very long, skinny arms and legs, much longer than a normal person's. His waist is very, very skinny. His head is rounded at the top, and it actually comes to like a point at the bottom. And then Tim Burton's style is also very well known for having these large eyes that have these shadows around them, kind of look kind of deep and sunken, and then also very small noses. So you guys will be creating self-portraits from about the shoulders up of yourselves kind of in this style. And we'll watch another art teacher that talks about that. A lot of his movies are based on an old style of movie called German Expressionism. Here's Frankenweenie. He was a dog from a movie where the dog dies and the little boy brings him back to life, kind of like Frankenstein. German Expressionism, as I was saying, was a movement of movies back in the 1920s by the Germans. And typically these movies were very dark. A lot of times things are crooked, like here we see the walls are at diagonals, which is not normal. The windows are odd shapes. Even this railing has this curve to it, and the stairs are irregular. You know, not each step is a little bit different, which doesn't really make sense. A lot of times, too, the buildings are bigger at the top, and they're smaller at the bottom, which creates this odd effect where it feels like buildings are tipping over or leaning typically, and that helps with that gothic feel. Notice how dark a lot of the things are too. Here we see this treehouse is kind of at a diagonal as well. I think this gravestone is a really good job of showing that skinny at the bottom, and then it gets wider at the top. Okay, and also look at these gravestones in the background, how they're tipped. They're not straight up and down. They're typically at diagonals, and that helps with that creepy gothic feel that Tim Burton typically goes for in his movies. And then one more big diagonal right there. Okay, so you guys are going to be making self-portraits inspired by him. You can either do one of two things. You can either get your art supplies right away and follow along with the video. That's what I would recommend. Or you can watch the whole video first and then go get your art supplies and then follow along with him. These are going to be make and takes, so you will take these home with you today. If you need to sharpen your pencil, I have little hand sharpeners up front. Sharpen the pencil shavings right into the little plastic bins that I have. Don't just sharpen your pencil to sharpen. It doesn't have to be a needle point to color. Okay, you should only need to sharpen your pencil once or twice the whole entire class. That way we're not sharpening our pencils down to little nubs. Okay, These will go home with you. I will see you guys next class. Okay? Talk to you later. Bye.